Where can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for a quid. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at tftmax.com. Where can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for a quid. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at tftmax.com.
You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook, and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
About AI. So we're going to obviously talk about ChatGPT and a few other things as well. So let's go on to see who the special guest is today. He should be hiding somewhere, so let me turn him on. We have got Cormac on the show from Crosshaven Computers. Cormac, if you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and obviously if you've got any tips or anything for us today.
Yeah, Cormac from Crosshaven Computers. Tips for today. We were talking about SEO and stuff beforehand, Phil. Again, let's talk about TikTok again. Which good day in the TikTok world. We sold a couple of laptops to people up the country from TikTok. But I was having a TikTok live with a friend of mine this morning, and we had a discussion. And if anyone's doing TikTok, we were saying, now we can't prove it, but it kind of makes sense that if you're putting up TikToks, you should put subtitles on them. I know people will say there should be always subtitles on my ones, but the reason being is that you would know this yourselves. You know, the way the websites, if you build your website and if you build it friendly for for blind people, I think it's something you can fix up your website to so that it can be read by blind people with readers or something. We were thinking that if you put subtitles on your TikTok, it should, by the nature of things, TikTok should push it more because it should be for accessibility, because it's right for our people, for people who have issues, not problems, but whatever. They should be able to read the TikToks. And it makes sense because I was out in a bar last week and I was early and I was waiting for people. So I was on TikTok, but you're in a bar just sitting at the counter having a Coke. And I was like, the only TikToks I went to were people that I'd followed who had subtitles on their TikToks. So there's an awful lot of people who will be on buses and all these sort of things. So it's essential that not everyone has their earphones on, or if they're scrolling through it in work, which, under the counter sort of thing. It's definitely better to put subtitles on your videos, any videos, in fact, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. Subtitles should be the way to go, would be my answer to that one.
Yeah, definitely good advice there. I must admit, I'm going to say a lot of people do watch and not listen to content these days, especially when you're swiping through things. It doesn't always show the sound straight away, so it can catch people's attention. Right, before we go any further, can you guys who are commenting, who are called Facebook user, can you click the link I've put in the chat? So I'm going to put it in again there for you, and I'll also put it up on the screen as well. So if you can click on that link or type the link in, which is chat.restream.io/FB, that way your name will be shown. So rather than being called Facebook user. Now, I'm just going to go through the chat itself. Let's have a look. So we've got Richard saying evening all. We've also got Facebook user saying hi as well, and evening all. So that's good. And we've also got another Facebook user waving and saying hello. I can see blue bolts just popped up at the top of the screen. Richard saying unmute your microphone. Who is it you're talking to, Richard?
You were. We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
We could. Yeah, it was only for the first minute, 10, 30 seconds. I think that's what he meant. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's going live for you, but
and hello, Peter.
It's working now. If you guys didn't know who I am, I'm Phil Griffiths, by the way, and this is Jenny. But there we go. Right, so we've also got Peter Whitehouse saying evening. We've also got Sean from Ireland as well. So if you're the King of Ireland, Cormac, does that make him the Prince?
He's the
And
prince,
does that
man.
make
I
you
like Sean.
related?
We were talking to Sean last week. We like Sean. Sean's one of my brothers. We like Sean.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, are you related then if he's a prince? But
Yeah.
there you go. So we've got Richard also posting the link as well. Thank you, Richard. Blue Bolt saying hi, and it was also at the start. Well, at least it's working now anyway. That's the main thing. Or is that a bad thing? So it depends on if you want to listen to us or not. Right. Before we go any further, I think Jen's having a bit of a coughing fit at the moment, so just give her a second or two. I'm going to go on to my news first, and then we'll come back to her for a tip. So let me just put the camera on me so you don't see her coughing everywhere.
Your Phil is muted again. Can everyone hear me by any chance? Phil, you're muted. If someone typing it in there, if you can hear me at least. These live shows.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you went away again, Phil. You left us. I don't think they could hear me either.
Okay, I'm not sure what's happening there then, but how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, they could. If you
Okay.
go again, lads, I'll just would there be a coup d'etat and we'll take over the show at last.
That's it. Right. Okay. Let's go again. So before we go on to the main topic, ChatGPT and AI and so forth, I must admit my tip of the day is, well, I've been fooling a lot of you, to be honest with you, the last few days. There's a lot of content I've been posting, and a lot of you have been liking it. It isn't actually by me. It was written by ChatGPT. So when I say that, I'll just get it up on the screen just to show you.
This was very clever, actually. This was very interesting. Anyone in the chat there who saw that, and did they think it was real, or did they think it was unreal? There's my words.
If I can actually find it now, it's disappeared. But hey ho, that's how it goes. But basically, I asked, here we go, asked ChatGPT to write about why people should support small independent computer repair business and stress owners have to deal with. This is the post, what ChatGPT told me to write. Well, I didn't write, I copied and pasted it, and I posted it in Tech for Techs and on the actual Patreon group. And that's what it tells you. So it tells you about supporting small business, computer repair business is important because they offer blah, 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 blah. But everyone thought I wrote it. I didn't. ChatGPT did it. I wanted to do a demonstration or a test to see how people would actually react to it. And not only that, if you guys look at the title of the show in the chat, as well as the description of the show, that is all also written by ChatGPT.
Okay, I have to ask a question. Are you, Phil, are you actually real?
That's a good question. I'll come on to that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We've blown the lid right off. I'm beginning to question my own existence now as well, man.
That's it. You just never know, to be honest. But I have a feeling that AI would do a better job than me, to be honest, and they'd make less mistakes. So that's how you're going to know that it's me. Is the ums and the ahs. What I'm saying.
Should I pop him upside the head, see if he says "ow," and we'll know if he's real or not?
That's it. Can you hear Jen speaking?
Yeah, we can hear. I think I can hear anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Right, okay, so let's go on to you, Jen, now that you're better, I hope. You've recovered. So can I get you to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, what you do, any tips and so forth for today?
Oh, well, I'm Jenny here at Tech for Techs. I'm the managing director, and I'm your editor of all the videos and content that you see. I'm also the person that calls you up and invites you to TechMax. And if you haven't done so, please do get on the phone with me, shoot me an email over, and we'll get you sorted for TechMax.
Okay, that's pretty good there. Nice one. So let's go on to just some of the comments. Yes, you can hear you, us both. Thank you. Cormac's fine. Cormac's always fine, isn't he? Hey, Cormac, I tell you what. Show everyone what your new microphone looks like.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I'm now. since I'm off to Hollywood with my new podcast, tune in and watching TikTok. I have a Blue Yeti mic. It's not blue, it's the white version because it was 50 quid cheaper. Don't actually know why they'll call it Blue Yeti, but they're very, very good. And if you look at Richards there, aren't they using AI to make our eyes look at the camera now? Did you see that yet? That is amazing. Who is doing that, Phil? Is it Adobe or I think it's Adobe. It is quite amazing.
It's Nvidia, actually.
Is it Nvidia? Yeah, I saw that on
it's
TikTok. It is amazing.
I'll show you. Actually, I've got it on this machine here. If you just give me 1 second, I'll actually show it you working. So, add effect.
I knew Peter would know. Peter, can I ask you one question? Have you been playing around with ChatGPT? Come back with an answer. Maybe put into ChatGPT and get an answer.
There we go. Right, let me just show you this thing with the eyes. Okay, so
Yeah.
I am currently looking at my screen. I am not looking at the camera. I'll just turn the feature off. I'm looking down at the screen, as you can see. As soon as I turn the feature on, it looks up, and it looks like I am looking at the camera. I think it's a little bit fake, a little bit too polished sometimes.
Can I ask a question? What software are you doing to use that? I know it's Nvidia, but is it built in? How is it? Is it a program?
It's called Nvidia Broadcast. I'll turn it back on. So it's called Nvidia Broadcast. You can download it. It's a free download as long as you've got a GeForce. I think it's 2060 or better. So that's either a 2060, 2070, 2080, a 30 series or 40 series graphics card. So it gives you a rough idea. So it does work. I did actually a video on YouTube about it a few days ago, actually. So you can look it up on there as well. So it's surprising what it can do, and it does. It works, but sometimes it can look a little bit too spooky. To be honest with you, it just looks. But I think
creepy.
if you're at a distance, probably if you're streaming a game or something, and you just got yourself in the corner of the screen, it's fine. But if you put it on full screen, you can see it looks a little bit strange, or can look a little bit strange, especially when you're blinking sometimes or looking the opposite way, because your eyes will suddenly move one way and then another and so forth. Don't look too natural, but don't get me wrong, it's very good, very clever.
It's got the mannequin look, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a mannequin look on there. So
yeah, but
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so Peter's said as well. Peter broadcast very briefly. So yeah, so it is clever software, and there are other things which I'm going to show you a little bit later in this. But also on this show, me and Cormac and Jenny are going to go through the plus and negatives of AI as well, as in what's the benefits, are the negatives. Yes, there are, but we'll come across those in a few minutes. But before that, something I've got to do is, and that's when I can find the button because I never can. Here we go.
Can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for £1. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at tftmax.com.
Right.
So if you didn't get that, register at tftmax.com. And the reason why you should is because it's only £1. You're going to have 800-ish, maybe more techs, vendors, distributors there, just like yourself, who you can chat with, get obviously information from them, get deals from them, you name it. They're there for you, and they want you to buy stuff from them in basic. So they're going to be offering you all sorts of deals. There's going to be prizes, all the usual stuff. So just make sure you are in attendance. It's only £1 to attend. We do have a 99p ticket as well, which doesn't include lunch. But if you do want lunch, obviously it's only 1 pence more at £1. And we do have a new person who's signed up, so I'm just going to show that now. So EADR, which is East Anglian Data Recovery, have signed up for the event. They will be in attendance. We will be shouting out quite a few more over the coming weeks as all the contracts are all getting signed and dotted and everything now. So you'll be able to see roughly. We're going to have, well, up to now we've sold around about 75, 80 table worth of vendors. So there's 80 tables being sold out of 120. So there's going to be plenty of people there. You'll see more information on the website. I'll put the link in the chat now for the website for anyone who wants to see it. It's just tftmax.com and you'll be able to find it there, or you can find it on the Tech for Tech's website. One other thing which has happened today, or we have done, is if you go to the Tech for Tech's website, so let me just get rid of that picture off the screen again. Sorry, bear with us. We're still in a new studio and getting used to all the commands and everything. It looks a little bit like a air control tower at the moment with everything we've got going off. So multiple cameras, buttons, controls, and everything. So, but we'll get there sooner or later. So let me bring up my shared screen. So if I can see around it. So here we go. Let me turn that on. So we have launched today. Let me turn the chat off just briefly as well. So let me just turn chat off. There we go. So you can join the Tech for Tech's group as normal by just clicking join us on Facebook. That's fine. You can do that. So do it as normal. If you're not a member on Facebook, feel free. You can join up. We just ask you to fill the questions in and away you go. But we also have an option. You can do either or both if you really want to. The new members forum, which has got other things as well. If you click on that link, it will take you to basically this page. It will ask you to register first. You won't be able to see the map until you do register. It's free to join. There's no charge. Before anyone from Computer Repairman or any other listings page starts panicking, it's not a listings for consumers. This is a listings and forums for Tech members. So people who are vendors in the trade and so forth. You can list yourself on the map. Again, we're only launching it today, so we've only got a few people who have been testing it for us listed on there. But once it's all up and running, multiple people on there, you will see obviously different places. For example, if I click on that one, you can see this place called Crosshaven Computers. So yeah, I can hear them cheering in the background. But yeah, so there's quite a few different places on there. Canny Clever IT and so forth. You can do searches and so forth. This is so you can find vendors and distributors just like yourselves. So if you need someone to help you locally to repair, let's just say iPhones. Let's just say you don't repair iPhones. You need someone to do it. You can look locally. You were looking for a specific vendor's address, how to contact them. That's listed on there as well. You've also got options on there for distributors as well. So there's quite a few different ways you can go about it if you're wanting to. Again, we're only launching it today, so there's only a basic listings on there at the moment. Obviously, more of these will pop up over the next few days. Again, you find that on the Tech for Tech's website, which is techfortech.co.uk, and you either go to /join or just click where it says become a member at the top. It will take you to the page you can register. We also have a forums. Again, this is not to replace Facebook. This is to use in addition to Facebook. There's a lot of people out there who do not use Facebook, especially vendors and distributors. Some people prefer LinkedIn and so forth. It's just a central place where we've got a backup if just in case, let's say, Facebook decided to close down tomorrow, as well as places where we can keep and pin things. So like the polls and surveys, they usually get hidden in Facebook pages pretty straight away as soon as we put them up. Well, we've got a special section. We can do polls and stuff like that on there. So you can do polls, you can vote on what you want and so forth. So it keeps it there. So you can figure out how much other people are charging and so forth. So there's quite a few bits and bobs on there. We'll be adding more features as time goes by as well. So just make sure you check it out. It's free to join. You can get directly to it from the join, as I said, become a member on the Tech for Tech's page, which is techfortechs.co.uk, and then click become a member. Or you can go directly to it by just typing in TFT member that's without an S on the end, .co.uk. You can see it up there. That will take you to the website as well, and you can register and set up. We have to manually accept every application on there, and we will check. Obviously, make sure you put your details in correct, because we'll turn you down like we do on the Facebook group otherwise. So there we go. So let me turn that off for now and get back to something Jen wants to do. So let me just get rid of that one. Here we go. Okay, I'm on twice. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. Right then, Jen, what is it you want to do now?
Well, time for tea. And this tea break is brought to you by EADR. Thank you for the cups. And this is going to be the perfect cup of tea, I'm sure.
Oh, that's nice. I have no tea.
We visited Allison on Monday, and she and Steve were the most excellent hosts that you could ever see. Steve is very passionate about his job, and he took time to show me and Phil exactly the process that he does with data recovery. Now, it went over my head, I must confess, Steve, but that's none of your fault. You're a great teacher and everything. It's just, it doesn't work with me.
Yeah, some of the stuff was technical.
Yeah,
Very.
but they were really sweet. They gave us some lunch there and everything, and made sure that we were off and on our journey fed. We even got a picture with Mrs. C out front, and we have that on the Facebook group, I do believe. And we also, on our Tech for Text tour, swung by and we saw Spire. That was on Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah, on Friday, Applied Technology.
So yeah, on Friday we saw Spire, and again the perfect host. If you've never been to Spire before, it is quite the experience. I did not expect it to be so big, but it's pretty big. You go up and you can see the let's say
The office.
well, no, I'm at the administration area. That's what I meant to say, the administration area. And then you've got the call center. Now, the call center is huge. It is huge. It's all one big open plan area. And everybody was so nice to us. Everybody got up out of their chair one at a time when they weren't on the calls, came up, shook hands with us. Someone named Sonny, who is in the hospital, and I hope, Sonny, that you're doing better now, because when we were down there, you were in the hospital and not feeling well. And I've signed an autograph book for you, as has Phil, and I hope that reaches you. And I hope you do better soon. So that's that.
Mm-hmm. Get well soon, Sonny. But yeah, thanks again.
So with that being said, I'm going to have a cup of tea.
There we go. So yeah, thanks again, Spire Technology and EADR. We will be visiting other places in the near future, as well as we obviously get things sorted and so forth. So
if you'd like to have a cup of tea with us, all you've got to do, send us a mug. It's that simple. Just send us a mug. If you don't know our address, you can email me at info@techfortext.co.uk, and I'll have a cup of tea with you next week.
There we go. So mugs, send them over. We'll stick them on the back as well when we get our new display stands up and running. Right. Okay. So let's get on to the main topic before we run out of everything. So, right. So, Cormac, do you want to start us off? Talk about ChatGPT and AI.
Right. We'll talk about ChatGPT. We can argue about ChatGPT. We'll just call it Chat. AI.
Yeah.
Now, the way I look at this is that, honestly, it's such a game changer. It's like we're sitting around and people are just after discovering fire for the very first time, in the sense that look how far we have went in 30 years with the internet. Okay, and if you look at ChatGPT and what it's doing, the way I've been using it, I've done copyright on my website. I'm not great at spelling. I'm probably dyslexic. I've said that before. I'm using it to write business letters. I actually have it pinned in my Google toolbar as a helper. I've said before that I will pay for this to be used. It is like, and I know you could say AI has been coming down the road for many years, but this is the breakthrough moment. Okay, and ye were talking about the I. Yeah, I'm going to talk, Peter. All the spot on. Um, you were talking about the and people are criticizing certain parts of it about it can't do this, it can't do that. Of course, it can't do that. It can't do that because it's still very, very early on. Okay, and in the sense that if you look at if you, the way we'll talk tech about it, it's probably like at the stage that it's Windows XP, the first version of Windows XP. It's that early out. If not, it's Windows 95. Um, Now, Peter is right. I heard something so interesting today. I was listening to the Twit Network, and I was listening to. They are thinking ChatGPT 4 is coming out, okay? And this is where Peter, and I know you're a big fan of your Microsoft. They are talking about in the next few weeks. Now, there's a lot of hype out there, and there's a lot of mistruths out there at the moment as well. But they are talking about um, launching ChatGPT inside the Bing or the Edge search engine. Now, if that takes off, it could. Now, I know Google has something come down the line. I do appreciate that, but it could nearly. Like if I was Google, I'd be quaking at this moment in time, and it's so interesting because it leads to a bigger conversation. If you were looking a few years ago, you were looking at Facebook, you were looking at Google, and you were looking at a few of the others, and you were saying they should be broken up. They're too big. And then I was listening to other arguments saying, yeah, they can't be broken up because they have the Chinese firms are bigger, and they said let the law of the market take over. And I was thinking to myself, but you're never going to knock Facebook off its perch. You're never going to knock Google off its perch. Facebook has been knocked off its perch by TikTok. If this comes true, if they could be a massive new search engine, it doesn't have to be Bing. It could be. I got actually a notification there about some new search engine that's coming out. Do I want to sign up for it? Which will be more visually based. And this is what it's the key to it is that I think the days of reading texts and all this are gone. I think the new way of search is going to be visual. I think AI is going to create all this. Um, it's it's just all. I'm just in awe of it at the moment. I really, really am. The potential that can be with this, it's just game changer. In a sense, Phil's articles, I don't think anyone gets that they weren't wrote by Phil. Yeah, I feel strongly about this one, folks. The future's here.
There we go. So that's Cormac's argument. I'm going to argue in a few minutes about why it's so negative. But first of all, there's a lot of you out there, I'm pretty sure, who don't even know what ChatGPT is or how it works and what it does. Basics is it's a bit like a Google search. You type in what you want and it basically tells you. But instead of actually just bringing up a list of websites you have to click on and then research, it basically just tells you in text in a paragraph or two, or depending on how many words you want, you can even tell it can tell me the answer in 100 words. It'll do it in 100 words for you. It basically tells you the answer you're looking for, or it'll even write stories, jokes, whatever you want. So just to give you an example, this is going to be my first example in the main topic. Cormac will like this one. So I basically open ChatGPT up, and I says,
experience gaming like never before with the MS.
Well, it wasn't that one. So let me press the right button this time. So I basically, let me hide the chat. I basically says, tell me a joke about an Irish computer engineer from Crosshaven. And as you can see there, it says, why did the Irish computer engineer from Crosshaven cross the road? And the answer is, get to the pub and buy a round of virtual beers for his friends on the other side. And there are more, as you can see, and I asked it to tell
My
another.
God, ChatGPT is racist, making alcohol jokes towards the Irish. Oh no, damn it, burn it down. You know?
But there you go. So you can ask it things simple like that, but you can go a little bit more advanced. Let me just give you a few examples. Jen's going to tell you about one in a second. Let me just show you this first, though. So these are some other questions I've asked it to do. So I've typed in it, how can ChatGPT help my independent computer store? It gives you a list and tells you different things. it can do, but probably not very precise. But if you want, you can then ask it another question, follow up, and say, give me some marketing ideas on the same subject, and it gives you loads of marketing ideas. If you want to know more about something specific, like referral marketing or influencer marketing, ask it about that. So tell me more about referral marketing, then gives you a list of even more information. You can basically keep going and keep going. It'll go in depth as pretty much you want. You can then go ask it questions. I'm not good at talking to customers. How can I get better? Again, gives you a list of how, and you can obviously go more in depth by asking it a question about one of those points. You can then ask how to respond to bad feedback when it's not true. As you can see, I copied and pasted the bad feedback at the top of the screen here, and it tells you, dear customer, thank you for taking the time to provide feedback. We're sorry to hear about it, and blah, blah, blah. It's basically answering the questions for you. So, and it's making it look professional. If you wanted to, you could potentially ask it to write it in a professional way, as like a 10-year-old can read it, or whatever you want. I basically says, trying to make a an advert more funny, and it writes out a funny advert for my computer store, which we're calling ABC Computers. So it's written a article there, so a news article completely. Also, aim at a professional. It rewrites it as a professional. So you're looking at professional people, businesses, and stuff like that. There's all sorts of things. You've got that bad feedback one again, once you're showing twice there. But that just gives you an idea. Now, I'm
Can I
just going to
ask
show
one
you
quick
one.
question here, Phil?
Yeah, go ahead, cool, mate.
Because I asked this in the group, and now that we have text here, I would love someone to check it. In Synchro MSP, okay, there you can write PowerShell commands to do stuff, okay? I don't know anything about PowerShell. What I did ask it to write PowerShell commands. Now, Richard said it can write code for apps. I would love to know if what it's writing is right in this sense. Can even a simple PowerShell command to go to tell a computer shut down or something? I would love if someone who has the skill set to check that and maybe come back to the group and say, yeah, that can write PowerShell commands. I may even have to ask it what exactly is a PowerShell command. But the thing is that for the practical use of that's amazing, here someone.
The thing is, it will only know what someone has taught it. So if someone has taught it in error, it's only going to know what someone has taught it. So I wouldn't count on it 100%, but today I asked it. I was just having to play with it. I did all sorts with it. And I asked it for a recipe for buttermilk biscuits. And it wrote out, I kid you not, the instructions included with the ingredients on how to make biscuits. And this is exactly what my mother would do. Exactly. So I know that works. So code,
Yeah, but
maybe not, but biscuits. And it wrote me a song for Phil, about Phil. I asked it to write a song about a computer repairman from England named Phil. And I will post that in the Tech for Text group. It's kind of lengthy, but it's really cute. It's just absolutely cute. It's got so much it can do too. I wanted to trip it up today because it said it was a translator. So I went to Google and I put in to translate from English to Italian. Tech Talk is the best talk show in the world. So I put that in Italian, and I put translate and then the Italian words for this in there, and it translated it back to Tech Talk is the best talk show in the world. So it does translate. It's really brilliant, Cormac. I mean,
it is, and but see, it's just so absolutely brilliant in the sense that right here in my house now, I have the Google Home, which was meant to be a game changer. What you ask it to play ocean sounds when it goes to sleep,
yeah,
set a timer. This is This is just
This is a step above Siri, though.
this is a step above this. If they this it past this series, nothing. Series a joke, a toy. This if you think
Don't talk
about
bad about my Siri.
no, I think the whole load of them. It's nothing. It's like they're 1 year olds. This is an intelligent being as such, Neri. And if you just imagine the very fact that if once they get this app, you're going to have that app like on your like you. Why are you going to Google again? Why are you going to Google to ask for those butter cookie thingamajiggies? In a sense, why don't you like? That's exactly no seriously. And I'm like, what I'm definitely going to be paying for it when it comes out. I want it. It's a business.
You know, you were talking about Google. That leads me over to the news. Google is trying to do their own version of this. It's called Apprentice Bard. Uh, and Bard is built using Google's LAMDA technology, which is it's sort of a similar to the GPT series of AI language models that ChatGPT itself is running on, and Google are testing alternative versions of their homepage, with one version uh, replacing the "I'm feeling lucky." That's going to be replaced with prompts for potential questions. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the design sounds similar to the homepage for the Chat GPT, which lists examples of questions, capabilities, and limitations above search dialog box. So it was only a matter of time before Google got their greedy hands on it.
Yeah. So, well, I think they're all working on it. To be honest
But
with you,
Google
it's
is
just
meant to have trained theirs on a 4 times bigger database. So
yeah.
you know,
It could. There was actually one of the guys on the team got fired a few months ago. Actually, regarding that, he actually working on the
mm,
Google version, and they fired him because he thought that the software had become sentient, as in it could actually think for itself and like a sentient being, sort of thing. And they fired him because he thought it was sentient.
well,
How true that is or not, I
yeah,
don't
no, no.
know.
I
But
listened to that story a lot. Now the thing about it is you can start debating, then you really go down rabbit's hole. What is sentient at that stage? You know? In a sense, no. I think this guy, to be fair, I think he had a bit of a history. I'm surprised he was employed by Google from what I heard of this story. But it is a matter of time in a sense. If you look at it in 10 or 20 years time, if they have this inside a robot and you've seen
Well,
what
that's
they've
kind of
done with
like the show
robots,
Humans, isn't it?
it's going to be this. If you're talking to a robot and if it has this developed in 20 years time, you're definitely going to be, we're on the verge of we're on the verge of creating another race of people. That's exactly it. Yeah, then again, they look at me dreaming to the future. Now Phil is going to tell us why it's going to kill us all.
well, I might do. I might just go through a few comments first, though.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn user, I put the link in chat already, but he's basically having problems finding ChatGPT. But the basics is the website is openai.com, and there's a button what says try at the top. Click on that. One negative for it at the moment, before I do the main ones, is obviously because it's used a lot at the moment, it can be a bit slow and buggy. You sometimes have to refresh the page and so forth. It's just because of obviously the high demand. But there is actually a news story what's come out today, funnily enough, which says that they're going to bring out or they're trying it at least for now, a subscription model for it. So you have to pay £20 a month to use advanced features. The free version should still work apparently, but they're going to bring out a priority version, which is going to be about $20 a month, which is what, about $15-16 or something, pound a month, I think, roughly around that line. So, but yeah, so
Well,
next.
I was impressed with it. If it can do, I would pay £20 a month if
Mhm.
it would let me do things like I did with it earlier, which was I wanted a script about for a podcast about the subject. It broke it down, intro, body, into paragraphs, blah, 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 blah. And it even had a conclusion. And it says at the end, thanks for tuning in and join us again next time for more exciting tech discussions. You can't get better than that. All I need is someone to sit here, cardboard cutout, put a recorder behind it, and then I don't have to show up for work.
There we
Yeah.
go. So definitely, let me just carry on going through the chat. So Peter's saying he hasn't tried it, but it seems that people have been obviously trying to do coding and stuff. Blue Bolt basically says similar sort of things about son's school. Not sure what they're doing and what level, but they're actually doing it. So people are playing about with definitely the coding side of things. Let's have a bit. Yeah, Richard, this is a bad thing. That the problem with ChatGPT, it can make everyone appear to be an expert in everything when they know nothing.
Oh,
That's
God,
one of my downsides I'll be talking about in a few seconds. We've got someone saying, "Evening, guys." Again, Facebook user, make sure you click the link what's further up in the chat. Skynet is just around the corner as well. Yeah, Peter says it's showing its capacity right now. A lot of time you just keep refreshing and it'll suddenly let you in, and then you'll try to type something and it sometimes doesn't work. And LinkedIn user says, thanks for the clarification. Now, before I go through some of the negatives, I want to just show you what else you can do with ChatGPT. And this is one thing. So let me just share my screen again. So, right. So you'll probably wonder where I'm going with this, but just bear with me. So let me put this on the screen. Okay, so there's a laptop here. Let me just refresh the screen. As you can see, it's from CyberPower. It's not a cheap laptop. It's an MSI Katana GF76. As you can see, it's around about $1,000 roughly. Okay, and you're thinking, well, how can I use that? Well, if you're selling products and you want to put an advertisement either on Facebook or social media or even your website next to the products you're trying to sell, you can copy and paste the information from the manufacturer's website or somewhere else which has got correct information and paste it in ChatGPT. So here we go, your session's expired, 1 second, here we go. I've basically put in ChatGPT, write me an advert for this product and include hash at the end, as in hashtags and so forth, so it can be found on social media. I've copied the title in, copied the description in, and then it wrote an advert for me. Okay? You're thinking, oh, that's pretty good. You've got an advert, you can post that on social media. Yes, but you can go a little bit further as well. So there is other programs out there which you can use. I think one's called Pictrify or something along that lines. And what happens when you paste it in, you can actually create your own advert and it will talk for you. So it puts the pictures in and everything for you. So for example, obviously it's a lot of copyright, so I couldn't actually put this bit on screen, but just to show you what happens. So let me put it on.
Katana GF7612UE469 UK gaming laptop. This laptop features a 17.3 widescreen display with a 144Hz FHD 1920x1080 display, providing you with smooth and seamless gaming. Pre-order now and receive a full 1-year license for Norton 360 VPN and security for gamers, ensuring you are protected while you game. This laptop is powered by an Intel Core i7-12700H processor and an Nvidia registered GeForce RTX 3060 GPU with 6GB of GDDR6 memory and DirectX 12.1 support. With 16GB of DDR4 3200 of a MHz RAM and a 512GB NVMe PCIe SSD Gen 4x4 without DRAM, this laptop is designed for ultimate performance. Don't miss out on this amazing offer and get ready to experience gaming like never before. Shipping begins on or after the 28th of February.
1 second here now. 1 second here now. It obviously knows nothing. It just recommended Norton antivirus. Come on, the hell, like, seriously,
that's a different
finished. It's finished. It knows nothing. All right, but actually, you done something interesting there, and I like to talk there. You done something interesting. What you done was very interesting, but the figures it spat out was very boring. So it obviously doesn't know anything about social media. Now, you were just doing it as a case study, and it was a fantastic case study. And I'm not pulling you on that. Not pulling you at all. I'm just saying there is a skill set, and there will be a job probably coming up for a person who knows how to talk and ask the right questions and get the right information out of it. As in, there is going to be ads for programmers as such for ChatGPT. If you put in crap, you'll get out crap.
I think another reason that was boring is it doesn't know emotion. And when we speak, we put emotion into the way we talk.
I disagree. It does no emotion. If Phil had said that, Neri, he put it in the tone of an emotional tone, or of a 15-year-old, or put it with a. If you had input, put this information in a friendly, non-professional, light-hearted way, that would have came a different result. Phil knows this. It would have been a total different. And that actually, Jenny, is the key to it. The key to it is actually, it seems to appear to write with emotion. In a sense, you could also have wrote that. You could have put that, and you could have said, write that in a Taylor Swift sort of song way, and it will do that as well.
Yeah, that's true. And that's one of the things why I wanted to actually bring this up, where all I did was basically copy the specifications and it filled in the rest. Obviously, you can tailor it. That took me literally 5 minutes to get the text, paste it into the program, press submit, bang, it got a video. Not only did it do the reading, the pictures were also picked with AI as well.
Was it?
So that's all AI. I didn't tell it to put any pictures in there, whatever. Okay, some could have been a bit better and so forth. Obviously, I suggest with anything, you put a little bit more effort in than just going tick a box and just say, yes, do it like that. But it gives you a rough idea what it can do with very little work, and it's at very early stages. But obviously, the negatives, which I was going to come to, Cormac's already mentioned.
Yeah, but see a lot. Even Richard there, and like Will is saying a good thing about it to users to make concern is true. And even Richard is saying, well, it can't. People say things like 1200 or 36. You're right, but at the moment, this is what it is, lads. It's the fire is just lit. We're only standing around the fire. Of course, there's going to be an awful lot of things. Of course, it can't do that. But come back here in 5-10 years' time, it's all over. You won't see us anyway. But it's that's what I think is the most fascinating thing about it. Yes, can it write code? Maybe not, but it will be able to write code. Us as text know this already. If someone asks us, "Can you do this?" We'll come out and say, if a customer asks me, "Can we do this?" or "Do you know how to do this?" My answer will be, "No, but by tomorrow I will, and I'll be back and we'll do it." That's it, but on a different scale.
There is one negative that I do see about it, one that I'm concerned about, and that's children going on it, trying to do their homework, and if they're having this thing to do it for them, it's going to dumb people down. I can see it dumbing down people.
True, and I agree on some of these points. We're only doing it as an open discussion. But Jenny, I'll turn around and say this back to you. They said that about the calculator. Now you can answer, did dumb people down, but for the sake of an argument, they said that about the calculator as well. In a sense that, should you embrace it? Now, I'll tell you a real fair. Because Phil's after bringing up something as well about, he put that into a generator and it gave a video text and all that, At this present moment in time, and as Will pointed out, it's the user or the people being watching that. Most people, we're still so early in the internet, most people still believe what's on the internet, okay? If it's on the internet, it's true. Like when we were young, we're all like, there was a rumor going around the playground about Marilyn Manson, the singer guy. Anyway, it's a kind of urban myth, which wasn't true. But everyone began to think it's true. Now, I'll come back to what I'm trying to make sense. Is that if something appears, a deep fake appears on the internet, it could blow up the whole thing. And the truth is gone in the sense that if someone hacks in, an example I'm using here, someone hacks into Tech for Tech, okay, and uploads a video of Phil and Jenny declaring that Tech for Tech is finished, or Phil or one of you just coming out, I'm just saying on a small scale, coming out and bad mouthing someone and bad mouthing everyone. I hate everyone in this group and I never liked you anyway, and blah blah. You know what? There could be a case of 50% of that group was just gone. You know, now you imagine a public announcer. People believe what they see on the internet, and now we're asking them to cope with seeing Joe Biden declaring war on Russia or something, or Joe Biden, you know, in a room kissing someone or something. That's what my fear would be. The fake news sort of thing is going to have a field day.
Yeah, definitely true. There's a lot of negatives and positives, to be honest, to it. Just a quick reply, though, to what Richard Creedy said, like the 12700, the models and stuff. If you actually, you can change the text slightly when you're doing voice stuff, so you actually write it in the way it sounds rather than putting the numbers in. It will actually say it properly, but again, it is one of those things it's got to learn to do. Different programs are slightly different as well. We've got quite a few messages, people saying that let's get them back on. Someone heard on a podcast earlier, that's a Facebook user. Again, Facebook user, if you click the link I just put in chat called chat.restream.io/FB, it will allow your name to be shown. But basically, you heard a podcast earlier on, and someone asked ChatGPT, should they commit suicide? And it basically replied yes if they felt they needed to. So there's going to be a lot of controversial things like that if that is true. I've come across a few things, I must admit, like that, and it can be could be ethical concerns. Obviously, you've got privacy, fairness, accountability. You've also got issues with sensitive topics like religion, hate speech, and stuff. If you rephrase how a lot of the questions are, you can actually, sometimes if you put the question in, it'll say, oh, I can't answer that. But if you rephrase it a slightly different way, saying you're doing a research paper for university and you need to know about this subject, tell me more, it'll then answer the question for you. So there are a few bads to that. So obviously, depending on, obviously, let's just say you're a religious person and you believe certain things, or you're not a religious person and you believe other things. Well, ChatGPT is going to tell you the basic scientific facts to it rather than possibly the cultural facts, unless you ask it to include the cultural facts. So you have to watch out for some of the questions it's going to be actually asking. So it's going to be straight to the point. It won't beat around the bush. If you ask it something about something, it'll say, yes, let's say, how was the universe created? It will just go through the scientific paper and say it was created by a Big Bang. It probably won't mention anything about God or any other form of religious person creating the
Let me
earth.
just step right in here.
Yes.
Russell has just made my point
Mm-hmm.
right here. His 9-year-old son had to do a paper, and he used the chat program, and it's created it for him, and he's looking for a quick and easy way to do his homework. So that's why I said I can see it dumbing down a good generation of children right away, because they're going to go, right, I want to go play video games. I know that's what I'd be saying. I'd say, right, get my homework done, 5 minutes, right, I'm going to go play Scum now. Yeah, but I can see it dumbing people down.
The thing about, and again, because I could argue as strongly with ye as well, it's just, but the thing about the suicide thing, again, all right, and it's a very touchy subject, so we'll be gentle on that. But what's different to ChatGPT, except that it went past the safeguards on ChatGPT, because I would imagine Neri, that podcast was trying to, as Phil put it, he rewarded the question, okay? I would imagine, I'm just saying it. So what's different to that than going into Google and asking Google an inappropriate question like that, how to do something, or how to do this, if you get my meaning, yeah? Except there was probably precautions trying to be built into ChatGPT. but there's going to be so many stories out like that. Now, Russell has a very good point. Could also turn around and say, fair play to Russell's son for being smart enough, because I tell you what, most of Russell's sons or people in his class didn't cop onto that.
Yeah, but he won't learn his lesson.
Most of them were just blissfully unaware. Maybe Russell's son's so computer literate that he copped onto that. Most of them didn't, I tell you that. So, that's still a gray area.
I was having a conversation this weekend with some family, and my brother-in-law and I were sitting there, and we remembered when you had to go to the library to do a research paper. There was no Google. Your Google was called Card Catalog, and you had to be pretty knowledgeable to know how to use this device because it wasn't simple. And it would lead you in the right direction to do your research paper, which you then had to either write it longhand or type it out, depending on how your teacher wanted you to do it. So there was a lot of work involved in essays and research papers back then. Fast forward, we've now got the internet, we've got Google, and you Google, let's say, a story about trees and the growth of trees, how trees grow, research paper about that. And you Google it, and it comes up with different websites and all this information everywhere, where we had to dig through books and books and books to get the same information and decide which one was going to be best. Now you've got this on hand, and you say, write me an essay about trees. We've gotten even, I'm serious. We really need to watch out because we're dumbing down people.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to put about it. There's another side of things as well.
Yeah, Richard's right. You had to actually read a book to learn.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Another way of thinking about it. Just sorry, Colm.
No. This is here all night with this one, like.
Yeah, we were going to say, I think this is going to go over a little bit, but we'll try and keep it short. But something to think about, literature. This was brought up last week. I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the vendors. I don't know if it was Russell or someone else. It was someone watching. And he said that basically they asked ChatGPT to write their kid a bedtime story. And then obviously they read it out to them and so forth. And then next week they can ask, or next day they can ask it to do a part 2, part 3. Brilliant. Okay, it's 3 stories. But what happens to all the authors what write children's books?
Yeah.
Do you need them anymore? If you can get a program to write a whole book for them.
Who were feeding their horses before the cars came along? I don't know the answer to that in a sense. I don't know. It depends in 2 ways about the school. There's an argument in the school as well, and I haven't seen it developed. I don't know the answer to this one, but there's an argument. I was listening to Professor Jarvis today on This Week in Google, and his argument, and he teaches students, his argument is that you embrace it in the school. Now, I don't know how that plays, but instead of fighting it, bring it in. I don't know. That is really open for a discussion. I don't know exactly, I don't know. There's thousands. We have to all agree it is amazing, though.
That's it. Another one. Someone's just brought up Facebook user. Again, click the link I've posted a few times. It'll allow your your name to be shown. But it says YouTube channels. How many of us have actually searched YouTube to learn how to do something? Exactly. Which obviously I think this sort of thing's going to take over. But the question is all these YouTubers who make money or livelihoods from making tutorials of how to do things, they're going to be, sort of redundant, because you could just ask a program and it's going to tell you. That's and it won't be long before they get an AI. You can already get AI talking things with the mouth moving and all sorts. You just paste the text in and it tells people how to do things. So you could potentially lose jobs from it, a lot of jobs. And again, not just from the likes of YouTubers or people writing books. It could be advertising and marketing. If people don't need to go on websites anymore, there's going to be less advertising and marketing on these websites, and the websites will probably go bust because, Chat
Yeah.
and GTP will answer the question straight
I
away for
can
you.
see that people going to school for marketing and advertising and things like that, not needing that degree anymore.
Yeah, but
All they've got to do is have the specs for a machine, put it into this chat JP, and boom, you've already got your advertisement ready to go in air.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
they tell about it, like even they tell about writing a book or reading a book and all that. That was a very one-sided way of learning, in the sense that, like, that's the way we learned in school. Okay. Now, as I left school, it didn't suit me. It didn't suit me in any way, shape, or form. I left school thinking I wasn't intelligent because I couldn't concentrate and read on all those books. Whereas visual learning totally suits me, and quick, fast learning suits me way better than what writing way long programs. So about that argument that we should write books and we should read this and that, I would be more of the belief that, actually, do you know something? I'd be more of the belief with what Will is saying, because Jenny's right, I'm right, and Phil's right. We're all right in our own particular way. It's going to balance itself out,
Mhm.
hopefully. You know?
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. A lot of people might be thinking I'm being negative about it.
No,
Obviously,
no.
we need
No.
negativity in this to go with the positives. Personally, I will be using it for different things, not to take over what I do, but to assist or help or speed things up. Maybe you could say that's reducing some chance of me employing someone else
It'll
in a
reduce
way.
my stress, that's
But
for sure.
it
Well, I
reduces
admire
my
you
stress
both.
and makes it easier for me.
I admire you both for taking the stance of that this is dangerous, because we could easily have switched this around and I could have taken this stance. So anyone listening,
Mhm.
we kind of had it, like there was no point the three of us agreeing on this, because it would have
Yeah.
been quite
Exactly.
I mean,
boring. We had
it's got good
yeah.
points and it's got bad points.
But
Yeah.
it was good that we all hashed it out rather than
Yeah.
because that's the way we're going to do. I have a stutter, lads. I'm probably getting tired there, so we might. That's my
Well,
stutter comes in when I'm tired.
that's it. Well, we're about to finish the show, and let me just leave you with one final thought. What happened if, obviously, something like ChatGPT took over, like as in over Google? I'm not saying on about the world or anything like here, but took over ChatGPT, took over the likes of Google or Microsoft Bing or whatever it is, and it becomes the dominant search engine type thing out there. Now, what happens if someone hacks that?
Ooh.
You could say, "Oh, you can't hack something like that."
Oh,
Well,
yes, you
no
could.
offense, but Norton got hacked last week, and they're a security company. No offense, Norton. Other ones have in the past as well, but
Different subject, different day.
different subject, different time, and so on. I think pretty much every security company probably has been
Yeah,
hacked at some
everyone can
point.
get
Yep.
hacked.
But the
Even
thing
I
is,
won't laugh at
if it's
Norton over that.
if
You
it's
know.
one of those things where it's out there in front of everyone, everyone will want to try and happen. If it goes down, they want to hack it, whatever it may be, it could cause some real damage because it only provides information from its database. If someone manages to get its database and change it, hey presto, it could be giving out completely wrong answers. So that could be from a virus, hacking, who knows, malware, whatever you want to call it. Right, guys, I know we haven't had time to go through everyone's comments and so forth, but we do appreciate it.
Yes, we
Obviously,
do.
you can always go down the chat afterwards on obviously and check it out yourselves. Depending on the platform you're on, you might see different chat though. But we've gone slightly over the hour, so we're going to have to end it there. But we will be on next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Again, we haven't picked topic just yet. We've got a few ideas planned out. If you are interested at any point on being a live show, whether it's my show or Cormac's show, let us know, because there's obviously we do need guests. We need new faces. We want
Yeah.
new views, new ideas. Obviously, just seeing us all the time, well, it can probably get a little bit boring. Maybe not, because we have a bit of a laugh a lot of times with us all. But it's always nice to have a bit of fresh blood on that we can actually poke some fun at now and again, or actually get some good advice from. So
Again, thank you to the team at EADR for the perfect cup of tea.
there we go. But also, thank you for Cormac for joining us tonight, as always. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you pop onto his TikTok page, which I'm putting on screen there. So it's basically tiktok.com /the @Crosshaven Computers. And obviously you'll be able to see a lot of his TikToks he does. I really recommend you check him out. It's not like, it's subscribe or follow, whatever it is on TikTok. I've still not got it down to 100%, but do it anyway, and you'll get there. And if you are wanting to watch some of his shows, what he's done, he did an interview with me last week. He's got some others planned coming up. Do you want to give us a bit of a tease what your next interview is going to be about, Cole?
We're going to do ChatGPT again, and then after that we got Middleton IT. He has around 50,000 followers on TikTok. He's unreal, just literally unreal. And then after that we got another TikToker coming up with 100,000 followers. But after that, I'm trying to get some. I open your Facebook. I'll be coming after a few people in this group to come on for some. We're doing tech ones as well.
Okay, nice one.
Cool.
Thanks again, Cormac, for that. And before everyone goes, remember, as I said, we are live next week. And if you do want to join Tech for Techs or see any of our content, just go to the Tech for Techs website. It's techfortechs.co.uk, straightforward. If you're interested in the event, you can see it scrolling across the bottom. It's tftmax.com, but you can also find it on the main website. And if you want to join, obviously, the Facebook community or our new membership area, as I said before, feel free to do that. You can find that again on the Tech for Techs website, along with podcasts and all the other things we do. There's lots of stuff on there. So I'm going to leave you now and thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next time. But before you do go, make sure you watch this.
Can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for £1. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at TFT